All psychics need to be able to do these 5 things in order to give more accurate readings and get better results for their clients. If you're new to me, welcome. My name is Carrie Cardozo. I'm a master psychic healer and energy reader, and my specialty is teaching people how to unlock, activate, and master their psychic abilities and energetic and healing skills. Now, I will tell you that more and more people are jumping into and diving into being able to do psychic readings, playing with psychic tools, doing more in the psychic and energetic industry. And I personally absolutely love it. One of my beliefs is that the future is psychic, and every single person has the ability on one level or another to be able to tap into their psychic skills and the gifts that they came here to share with the world. And our job, and part of my job, is to be able to help you do that. Now, as people are learning their gifts and abilities and using different modalities, one of the things that I have seen is that people often think that, hey, I'm really good at doing tarot card readings, or I'm really good at dowsing, or I'm really good at using a pendulum, and I can get people answers to their questions or get them an answer to a yes or no question. And they kind of stop because they think that that's all they need to know. And I know that some people think this because of the fact that they don't really understand the depths of the information and the connection that people can actually have. So I see people all the time, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, pulling tarot cards, and somebody's asking questions. They're just like, yes, no. Or they're using a pendulum and saying, I'm getting a yes for this, or I'm getting a no for this. And this is one of those things that is like nails on a chalkboard for me, because there are so many things that can come into play here to give somebody a wrong reading, to give somebody inaccurate information, or for the reader to actually be totally off. And although I really do understand that it's always the receiver's responsibility to discern within inside themselves as to whether the answer was correct or not, and the reader's just kind of giving it off, but I have seen so many people giving wrong guidance. And the problem with this is that one of the things that I have seen after being in the psychic field and actually working as a psychic for the last 10 years is that people put a lot of respect and responsibility and weight on what it is that a psychic tells them. A lot of times, people will come to psychics, and I'm not saying everybody by any means, because I know a lot of very empowered people, and I know a lot of people who use psychics for incredibly successful and expansive ways. But oftentimes with these modalities, where when somebody's using a pendulum, or somebody's just doing yes or no with tarot, or there's these lives where people are jumping on and just, feeling like they desperately need to ask a question, they're normally in a very desperate situation where they don't trust themselves. And this can even happen with really successful people. I've had very successful 7-figure earners and 8-figure earners who will come to me because they're like, I am so stressed out right now. I feel so confused. I've had this, and this happen. I'm not trusting myself. Can you please help me? And they're not just looking for an answer. They're also looking for that reconnection to themselves. But when people come to psychics, oftentimes they're really relying on the psychic to give them accurate information. And oftentimes psychics aren't doing that. Now, I have been teaching psychic development over the course of the last 8 years, and I have come up with so many things that are important for psychics to be able to do, and crucial things for psychics to be able to know in order for them to help guarantee accuracy inside of their readings. I don't care whether you're just randomly pulling cards on a TikTok live, or whether you're sitting down with an 8-figure entrepreneur. As a psychic, as somebody who is presenting themselves to the world saying, I have the answer that you need, come and I will give you the psychic guidance, it is our responsibility to be as accurate and as confident as we possibly can, and not ego confidence, more of soul confidence in the answers that we are giving people. So in today's episode, I'm going to share with you 5 things that I personally feel as a master psychic who is somebody who is taught thousands of people how to work with energetics and how to tap into psychic gifts on multiple different levels. 5 things that every psychic must be able to do in order to help guarantee accuracy. So let's dive right in. So the first one is, I truly believe that every single psychic needs to be able to read and understand their own energy. Now, I want you to think about it. As a psychic, or if you want to call yourself an intuitive, this works for intuitives as well. Psychics and intuitives are very different for me, okay? So, but as a psychic, you claim and you're out there saying that you connect with energy and you give messages from energetics. That's what we're doing. We're giving messages from energetics, whether it's from a departed loved one or whether it's from using a pendulum or dowsing or using tarot cards or oracle cards. I don't care what it is. I don't care what your means of receiving that information is. You're connecting with energetics. If you have enough ability to connect with energetics to give me an answer to a question that I'm asking that more than likely is very important in my life, I also would expect you to be able to understand and read your own energetics. And a lot of the times, psychics can't do this. So I will ask a psychic, what's going on inside your body? What flow is your energy going in? They don't know. They can't tell me how far grounded they are into the earth. They can't tell me what stream of consciousness or what energetic vibration they're connected to that's coming in through any one of their chakras. They can't tell me what a chakra actually looks like. They can't describe to me what energetics they're holding. And this is a no-no. If you are a psychic, you absolutely should start with yourself. You should be able to read your own energetics and be able to tell me with certainty and with clarity and with accuracy what is going on inside of your body at all times, as well as your aura, as well as all of the things that you're connecting to on a moment-to-moment basis. So if you're a psychic, I highly encourage you to start tuning into your own energetics and really being able to read and understand and decipher your own energy. Now, number 2, and this one is a must, and this is one of the ones I've done a free master class called Spirit Team. And this is something that I talk about inside of that free master class called Spirit Team, is discerning who you are talking to at all times. I cannot even tell you how many times somebody will come to me and say, I got this amazing message, or I heard something in my room last night, or this is the message I received. And normal people will come and tell me these things as well. I'm talking about psychics, people who promote themselves as psychics, who are doing readings, whether they're intuitive readings or they're card readings or whatever it is that they are. And they'll tell me this information that they got. And I'll be like, amazing. Where'd you get that from? And they won't be able to tell me. They won't be able to tell me whether it was grandma or it was grandpa, or whether it was a spirit guide, or whether it was an angel, or whether it was a low vibrational being, or whether it was God or source himself that gave them the information. I know a lot of people, when they get information, they're just like, I had this divine download from source. And they just assume all of the information coming in through them is from God or source. And this is absolutely not true. And there have been so many times where somebody will come to me and say, I heard blah, blah, blah. Or somebody will come and say, I heard I'm supposed to start a brand new business. Or I heard I'm supposed to be teaching this. Or I got the perfect name for my program and I heard it. And I will say, well, who are you speaking with? Who are you talking to? Who's giving you this guidance? And they cannot answer me. There are so many different levels of vibration that you can connect with, from the lowest of the lows. If it exists here in the physical world, it exists in the spiritual world, okay? Or from the very highest of high, which would be any of the, divine energy, source energy, God energy, any of that, and everything in between. And there are a lot of different layers. As a psychic, it's incredibly important for you to be able to discern who it is that you are talking to, because who gives you the information is absolutely going to depend and going to determine how accurate it is, as well as how likely the person should be following that guidance. And I'll give you an example, and I've shared this story before. I've had multiple times where people have come to me because they've had psychic sessions or they had a session with a medium, and the information they received in that just didn't really feel good to them. And they'll come to me and say, I was told by a psychic X, Y, and Z. I was told by a medium this, this, this. I can remember specifically this one client came to me and she said that a psychic told her that she was going to lose her baby. And she was pregnant, and she was fairly newly pregnant in her first trimester. And this woman had struggled in the past. I think she had also had a miscarriage in the past. I'm not positive about that, but there's a lot of energy around it. And she was devastated. And she was so upset, and she was starting to freak out and get a lot of anxiety. And if you've ever been pregnant before, you're already stressed about what's going on. You're already, you hear all these stories on people don't make it out of their first trimester, or, if you've waited so long to have a baby and then all of a sudden somebody's telling you it could be taken away. This is so freaking damaging. So, so, so damaging. And I remember as soon as this woman came to me, I looked at her and I was like, listen, I see this little boy being born. He's going to be amazing. He's going to be such a beautiful addition to your family. The baby is absolutely fine. And I went out on a limb and I was like, I guarantee it. I guarantee this baby is going to be fine. Please don't listen to what this woman told you. And I gave her a lot more details on it. This woman has since gone on to have that little boy and another child, and has grown a beautiful family. But there's often times that people will hold on to these anxieties, and she could have navigated through this pregnancy. Luckily, she came directly to me. We were connected already, and she could have spent a good 6 months stressing. She possibly could have even lost her baby because of stress and because of fear, and because we have the ability to manifest things in our life. This psychic who told her this information was absolutely wrong, absolutely incorrect. And oftentimes, when we are not channeling the highest vibrational things, we absolutely can get inaccurate information. Also, share another story where a woman came to me and she was told by a medium that her mom said that she had to get revenge on somebody in their family. Now, this can be true. There can be family members that are still stuck in low vibrational energy when they go to the other side. But in this specific case, the psychic was not channeling, the medium was not channeling with the mom. The mom stepped forward very clearly and told me exactly what happened and what this woman needed to know. And this woman was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I have been stressing about this. What this person was telling me to do was actually illegal. It was horrible. Now, I'm not saying the medium made this up, but the medium was connecting with low vibrational beings that gave them false information. If you are a psychic, please, 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 please learn how to discern who you are talking to. So when you deliver that information, you're giving people accurate information. Imagine, marketing your business and having a high schooler tell you how to create an ad on Facebook, or somebody who has $500 million in sales under their belt. I'm going to take the person who has $500 million in sales under their belt, not somebody who's just playing around. Okay. So super important. Now, number 3, I think these are all equally important. So there are no specific order, but every single psychic should know the difference between the information in their head that comes from themselves, their logic, their knowledge, their ego, their beliefs, their experiences, versus knowing who it is that is talking to you, or that somebody is actually speaking to you from outside of yourself. And I see this happen a lot. One of the things we have to remember is that we are still very much human as psychics. And although no one is supposed to be perfect and no one is supposed to have all of the answers, you can absolutely increase your accuracy and start to increase your guarantee on your sessions, which is what I do, absolutely, by really understanding and knowing the difference between what's going on in your thoughts and what the information is coming from outside of yourself. Now, one of the things that we want to remember is that as a psychic, and as a human, we have subconscious information that's going on within inside of us at all times. This is something you're not aware of. So when you start to connect with energy and look for energetic information and guidance for people, you 100% can tap into the subconscious information that you're not aware of that's held within inside. The more you do your due diligence, you really understand yourself and your beliefs and your limitations and the things that you're struggling with and the things that are going on within inside of your life, you're going to be able to tell the difference between, is this information that you received from my own subconscious or from my own beliefs or experiences, or is it coming from outside of myself? Now, there's also another way to do that, not just knowing yourself and knowing what's going on with inside of your head and inside your life, but also really being aware of the stream of energetics as you receive it. Every single thing you receive, everything you receive, everything you connect with has a stream of energetics that it is attached to. This stream of energetics should not come from within inside yourself. It should 100% come from outside of you. Now, this does require you to be able to see energetics and really be able to follow them in order to see that. But you knowing the difference between your own inner thoughts and the guidance that you're receiving is absolutely crucial. I see a lot of people give guidance that's actually connected with their own beliefs. Now, on the tail end of that, number 4 is actually kind of similar. One of the things we have to remember as a psychic is that we're always receiving information at all times. And you yourself as a psychic also needs guidance. And one of the things that I see happen is that when you start to open up to bring information in for clients to really be able to get them the guidance that they need, what also happens is that you receive guidance for yourself, because maybe you don't sit down with your guides when you should. Maybe you don't trust the guidance that you're receiving for yourself. So when you open up, your guides and the beings that are looking to give you guidance are like, let's give her everything. Let's give her all the information that she needs because she's finally open for us. So you being able to know the difference between information for yourself versus information for the person that you're channeling is absolutely crucial. I've had so many times that I'll be channeling and I'll be hearing the messages for the client, but then I also get a little download of, you need to know this, or you need to be aware of this, or you need to be this. It's like there can be multiple conversations going on at one time, especially in the energetics and the energetic realm and within our channels. And so us being able to discern, oh, wait a second, this is guidance for me, or wait a second, this is guidance for somebody else, is so incredibly important. I've seen a lot of psychics give guidance that was actually meant for themselves for other people. You know, I teach a foundations psychic course called The Shift. And I can remember really specifically at one of these, such a beautiful client who was in my last round of that. And I remember whenever she was channeling, she'd be like, okay, and I also got X, Y, and Z. And I really do know that's for me. It might be for you as well. Like, let's say the guidance was open your heart space. And she would say, I heard to open your heart space. I'm pretty sure they were talking to me in order for me to receive more information. She said, but I'm also going to give that to you. If that resonates with you, keep that as well. And this is such a beautiful way of doing it, of really understanding what is for you versus what is for the person that you're channeling, and really being able to do your due diligence and know the difference. Okay. Now, the last thing, step number 5, might actually be the hardest. They're not steps. These are just things you need to know. Number 5 is absolutely the most challenging for people. And it's one of those things that you're going to get better at and better at as you continue to go. It's not just, hey, one and done. You're absolutely, guaranteed that this is going to happen. This is one of those things that the more you practice, the better you are at this. And that is interpreting what you actually get. So oftentimes people have this misconception that when they talk or channel with beings or energetics, that they get full-on sentences, like the way in which I'm talking to you. Now, that's absolutely possible. That is how I channel. Absolutely how I channel, because of how long I've been doing it and because of the energetic work and the vibration raising and all that. But when you first start channeling, and I promise you, people who are pulling cards, people who are using pendulums, people who are using dowsing tools or any of these other things, or they're getting like quick downloads, they're not getting full-on sentences. And if they are, they more than likely are coming from their own mind. Okay. So what happens is we'll get a picture, or we'll get an image, or we'll get a word, or we'll get like a small 3-word sentence. And your job as a psychic reader is to understand what that means. So, and I see this happen a lot. People will be in a psychic session. They'll be like, oh, I see a beautiful hawk. That's for you. You take that and interpret that. No, 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 no. That's for the psychic to interpret. That's the way in which oftentimes spirit will communicate, especially in the beginning, is they'll communicate with symbols and words and pictures because you're supposed to understand what it means and you're supposed to tell and really be able to explain to the person in your session what that means. So if you see that they're walking through the forest and it's really dark and all of a sudden they come to a pool of water and they're swimming, and if you say that to them, I see you walking through this forest and you come to a pool of water, a lagoon, and you're swimming. This must mean like you should go to Costa Rica. Or this must mean, like maybe you should get out in nature more. More than likely, it means that they are navigating through a very dark period of their life. And the only thing that's going to help them in order to be able to open up and move through this dark period, the shadows in their life, is by expressing their emotions, by really allowing the emotions within inside of them to be released and for them to feel them. Now, that sounds really different from the picture that I've given. Okay, the image of walking through woods and the water, but this is how we interpret energetics. And that's actually something that was an image that a client brought to me that she was like, this makes no sense. I don't even know what to say to the client because this happens all the time. The spirits use what you have, what you know, what you're holding within inside of you, what is in your channels, what's the easiest for you to receive in order to bring you the message. And most of the time, they're symbolic and they're signs and they're pictures and images and one-off words. You have to be able to do your due diligence to really understand what these symbols mean, what spirit is trying to tell you with the words and the images that you're getting, and you're supposed to be the interpreter for your clients. I want you to think about it. One of the things that I say all the time is that psychics are, like, for me, I speak two languages, and one of them I speak phenomenally well, and that's energetics. The other one is I speak English. And if you talk to any of my British friends, I don't have the best English. I'm a phenomenal energy reader. All psychics are energy readers and interpreters, and we are interpreting the message from energetics to the people who cannot understand it. So the same way somebody who speaks Spanish or French might help interpret the language for me, I do that for people in regard to energetics. So you must know what it means. You must know what all the symbols and the words and all of the things that spirit brings you during a session or even before a session or after session actually means, okay? Now, being psychic comes with a lot of responsibility. And these 5 things are what is going to help you to be able to help guarantee, okay, that your sessions are absolutely filled with accuracy, with important information, and the right information that somebody needs. Because as you know, as you might have seen in the coaching industry, as you might have seen in any industry, there are people with a lot of different information. But as the psychic, we can get the exact information that's going to help somebody to grow and expand or reach certain levels or achieve certain goals because we have that ability, or we should have that ability. So yes, being psychic can be fun. It really is. And it can be fun when you're on a live and you're just like, oh, I want this. Or you're in a session, you're like, oh, I see this and I see this and I see this. But people come to you for accuracy and they come to you for powerful guidance. So it's up to you to be able to do these 5 things in order to help guarantee it. And I'm going to go through them really quickly. 1 is read your own energetics. Number 2, discern who you are receiving the information from. Number 3, know the difference between your own inner dialogue and your own beliefs and your own thoughts and your own knowledge versus the information that's coming in. Number 4, know the difference between information that you're receiving for yourself and its guidance for you versus for your clients, because it happens all the time. And number 5, make sure you are accurately interpreting the images and the signs that you're getting. You're not just supposed to give them the images and the signs. They will be incredibly lost, okay? Now, I hope this helps you. I have been teaching psychic development for the past almost 9 years, and I know these things absolutely help. Now, I also reiterated in this episode many times how important psychic responsibility is. And stay tuned, because in the next episode, I'm going to share with you some of my absolute musts for integrity levels, for responsibility, and for high psychic ethics that all psychics should be embodying. If you want to learn more about developing your psychic skills, working with energetics, reading energetics, connecting with the soul, or you just want a beautiful community to support you on your journey, come join me in my free Psychic Elegance community or join me in my paid Sovereign Psychic membership if you're ready to really expand into your psychic gifts. And don't forget to grab your copy of my Psychic Development Journal over on Amazon. And I will see you guys next time for the Psychic Within.